Now the latest ITV News Central with Bob Woolman and Samina Ali Khan.
Welcome to the programme. Our headlines tonight: Gary Rowett confirmed as the man who'll try to save Birmingham City's season after their worst ever home defeat.
No HS2 station for Stoke-on-Trent as campaigners fear the city could miss out on the economic benefits.
The drugs won't work. Experts warn our over-reliance on antibiotics could see the end of life-saving operations.
And we're behind the scenes of tonight's explosive episode of Coronation Street.
Good evening. Stoke-on-Trent will not be on the route to the High-Speed 2 rail link, according to the man in charge of the project. Sir David Higgins, the executive chairman of HS2, confirmed today that the city will not get a station on the proposed second phase of the line.
Despite pleas from business leaders in Stoke, planners have chosen Crewe as the site for the so-called Northwestern Hub, leaving the passengers in the Potteries with a 30-minute train journey to connect with the new line. Andy Bevan has been gathering reaction to the decision.
We already know that Phase 1 of HS2 will link Birmingham with London, cutting journey times to around 50 minutes. But today, those at the helm of the project laid out their plans for Phase 2, from Birmingham to Manchester and Leeds. After visiting a rail depot, the Prime Minister and the Chancellor joined HS2 bosses in Leeds to hear the plans spelt out by Executive Chairman Sir David Higgins. Phase 2 will create a two-pronged link on the western side from Birmingham to Manchester, not via Stoke-on-Trent but via Crewe, and on the eastern side to Leeds via a hub near Nottingham. The exact location of that is still to be decided.
I recognise Stoke's clear desire to have a station there, but continue to believe that Crewe's role as a hub serving Merseyside, Staffordshire, the rest of the North West and North Wales makes it the more natural location.
Not good enough, say Stoke's business and political leaders. Earlier this month, they lobbied Westminster, arguing that a station in the city would bring massive investment and prosperity to the whole of North Staffordshire.
Stoke would benefit from 20,000 new jobs, £200 million worth of inward investment, and become one of the best connected cities in the UK, which is a platform for us to regenerate for the next generation or two.
Although Stoke-on-Trent itself has missed out, under today's new proposals, HS2 will run through more miles of Staffordshire than previously planned. The County Council says Staffordshire needs to make the most of its involvement.
We've got to capture the maximum economic advantage, and what we've always said is wherever the stations are, if the project goes ahead, we need to be able to connect to it.
Also mooted today, a plan to link Manchester and Leeds by high-speed rail, a so-called HS3, bringing even more northern towns and cities within easy reach of the West Midlands. Journey times between Birmingham and the East Midlands could fall from an average of an hour and a quarter to just 19 minutes. Birmingham to Manchester would reduce from an hour and a half to just over 40 minutes. And with HS3, Birmingham to Leeds could come down from 2 hours to just under 1. But for now at least, rail passengers in Stoke-on-Trent will face a 30-minute old-style train journey to connect with the HS2 hub in Crewe. Even so, their views about losing out are mixed.
As long as HS2 comes to the general area, I believe that will bring growth to Stoke as well.
So I would have thought it made sense to come through Stoke. Where they would put it, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a shame. It's a shame for the area, but, you know, probably that's the way it's going to go.
All the government are proposing to do is suck more economic activity to these Leviathan cities, trying to make them a bit more like London, while the rest of the country will lose out as a result.
If adopted, today's plans will see the Crewe hub built by 2027, 6 years earlier than originally planned. Construction work on Phase 1 could start within 3 years at a cost of £50 billion. Andy Bevan, ITV News.
Well, for more reaction, let's join our political correspondent, Bob Constantine, at Westminster. Bob, a bitter disappointment in Stoke. Is that the end of the game for them?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, it's still got to get through Parliament, don't forget. There could even be, there's talk of a legal challenge as well. But, of course, that's for the future. Right now, Stoke's loss is, of course, Crewe's gain, because Previously, Crewe was going to be on a kind of sideline where HS2 would branch off on existing lines. Under these proposals, the HS2 line will actually go straight under Crewe in a tunnel with a brand new station at low level next to the existing station. No wonder Crewe's MP was celebrating today.
Well, if you look at a map of our railway network, all lines go through Crewe. So there is a logical choice for Crewe to be that connectivity, that gateway to the northwest. And although Stoke has many attributes to offer and will benefit from HS2 by it being able to integrate into the line itself, Crewe is the very natural choice for not just the heritage that it has in the railway industry, but also because of its location, because of its geography and because of its connectivity, it's best placed to service the northwest and open it up to greater business opportunities in the future.
So a coup for Crewe, as you might say, but what of Stoke? Well, the council's now spent about £1 million on this glossy document, which was presented to the Transport Secretary and to HS2, apparently to no avail. Now, some MPs tonight are talking about getting their money back for this, the £1 million it cost. One MP, Joanne Wally, though, wants a complete root and branch reappraisal of the whole process.
I'm going to be talking with my colleagues, I'm going to be talking with Stoke-on-Trent Council, and I think that we need to have an objective meeting now with HS2 and with the government, away from the hysteria, and really asking them to sit down and give us the criteria and set it all out. It's at this stage, it's one side saying one thing, another saying another. We need to get the facts on the table.
Well, she, of course, not alone in actually opposing HS2, and that brings me back to the central point. This has still got to clear Parliament. The bill to approve all this will drag on well into next year and possibly the year after that. There could be a lot of amendments by people in the MPs in the Stoke area. The other point is, could there be a judicial review about the way that consultation was carried out? That's also being discussed tonight. So, as I say, although this would appear to be a firm recommendation by Sir David Higgins, nothing is set in stone just yet.
Bob Constantine, thank you.
In other news, a 2-year-old girl from Staffordshire who battled 2 types of leukemia has passed away. Margot Martini's parents launched a global appeal for bone marrow donors with the help of celebrities after their daughter was diagnosed a year ago. She had a transplant in February, but her family said the cancer returned quicker than expected. They told us Margot passed away peacefully at home this morning.
Staffordshire Police has started a 2-week amnesty on guns and ammunition. It means people will be able to hand in firearms without facing prosecution. A change of law in July means people can now get life for possessing an illegal gun, which includes antique weapons.
Birmingham City said today they are delighted to announce Gary Rowett as their new manager. The Burton Albion boss had a successful 2 seasons at Birmingham as a defender in the late 90s.
Delight was in short supply at St Andrews on Saturday, though, as Birmingham suffered an historic defeat in an 8-0 humiliation at the hands of Bournemouth. Callum Watkinson reports.
Conceding within 2 minutes, Birmingham City made things easy for Bournemouth on Saturday, again and again and again. The 8-0 score was the worst home defeat in Birmingham's 139-year history and left fans with a serious case of the blues.
Collection of limited players, arguably not trying against a better side, and after the second goal went in, collapse of morale, collapse of organisation. Another sad chapter in the club's plight.
This was an historic defeat for Birmingham, surpassing losses to Liverpool in 2006 and West Brom in 1960, and matching drubbings by Sheffield Wednesday in 1930 and Blackburn in 1895. So can the man who has led Burton Albion to 2 consecutive League Two playoffs bring Blues back from this? Gary Rowett's appointment was confirmed this afternoon.
I think Gary Rowett's an inspired signing for the club. I think he's young, he's ambitious, he promotes positive football, certainly at Burton Albion, and a lot of their fans are very sad that he's gone, which must be a good sign. He's played for the club for 2 years and he gets what Birmingham City is about. It's a really positive appointment.
But who will Rowett be reporting to? The club's main shareholder, Carson Young, is in prison in Hong Kong, while his son and brother-in-law are still directors. For fans, the chaos on the pitch reflects the uncertainty in the boardroom.
ownership of the club is a mystery. We're out within an enigma, who knows? It affects who we can buy as players, it affects who can we attract as managers, as backroom staff, it affects the level of optimism of the fans in terms of season ticket sales. It has a profound effect on the club, and unless those things change, we are going to be treading water for the foreseeable future.
The board said that it understands supporters' frustrations in a statement welcoming Rowett, but the first thing he'll have to do is figure out how to win in his own backyard. Blues have now lost 24 of their last 25 home games. Callum Watkinson, ITV News, Birmingham.
So all change at Birmingham City, and we'll have much more sport later on in the programme. £300,000 has been given to Hereford Cathedral by the government to help repair a number of its roofs. The grant from the First World War Centenary Cathedral Repair Fund will cover repair and restoration work on 3 roofs. Around £120,000 is still needed for a 4th, and work will start early in the new year and will take place throughout the summer.